Hi guys, this is Vinny Santana, triathlon coach at Iron Guides. In today's video, we're gonna discuss a little bit some strategies to get closer to qualifying to the Ironman World Championships in Hawaii or the Ironman 7.3 World Championships. As an athlete, I was the youngest pro in Kona 2007. I have also won my age group in Ironmans before, so I've qualified a few times. And as a coach, as of now, I've qualified 37 athletes to Kona and a bunch for the Ironman 7.3. In today's video, I'm going to help those athletes who have done Ironman races before, who are quite experienced and are quite high performance already, to get a little bit closer to the Kona slot. If you miss the Kona slot by, sometimes only like a few minutes, how do you bridge that gap? The core fitness is there, the experience is there, but you still need to find 5, 10, 15 minutes somehow to get your slot. So how we get there? It's all about marginal gains. So you want to try to find like a few seconds on, let's say, 20 different things of your training and your racing that at the end of the day, they're going to add up and it's going to get you closer to your dream Kona qualification. I'm going to teach you like a few tips, like a few hacks on how to get that marginal gains, get a little bit faster on each discipline during the Ironman race and also during your training. This video is only for athletes who already are very, very fit and have more than enough experience in Ironman racing. If you're not there yet, take your time, build your fitness, build your experience, and then come back to it once you had a few tries and you got close enough to qualify to the Ironman World Champs. And what's the next step then? First, pick a course that's gonna maximize your strengths and minimize your weakness. So the number one there is the heat. Do you handle the heat well? If not, forget about it, it's not gonna happen. But at the same time, if you can run well in the heat, that's your priority. Another example, how technical are you on the bike? Do you have any sort of cycling background? Do you do well in technical downhills? If that's the case, pick a course that's gonna suit your strength. Because if an athlete is fitter than you, but they don't have the same cycling skill, you may be able to even outsplit that fitter athlete, let's put it that way. Swimming, very similar. If you have a swim background, avoid swim with wetsuits. So just go for like a non-wetsuit swim, and also consider the number of slots. Some races, they only offer like 40 slots, some others, the bigger regional championships, 70, 80. So pick the ones with more slots that can make a big difference as well. The next step is to pick a race where the athletes are not as competitive. So the quality of the field is not as high. Typically, Europe and Australia are extremely competitive. So you may even break 9 hours in some of these races and not get a Kona slot. So that's very, very intense. Typically, some races in the US are a little bit easier to qualify, same as in Asia. And the timing of that race compared to Kona also is very important. Try to get a race that's too close to Hawaii, either a little bit too early, like just before August, September, or maybe October, November, because the best athletes of your age group are going to be racing Hawaii. So you have a better chance compared to a race, let's say, early or mid of the year, where these guys are trying to qualify again. Now let's break down your race and your training on each discipline and see where you can find those few seconds here and there that in the end of the day they can add up quite nicely to a bunch of minutes and could be the difference of getting your Kona slot or not. So starting with the swim, do you visualize your ideal swim strategy? So how would the swim play out on race day? Where are you going to be starting? Do you plan to start a little bit faster, swim in a group? What's the perfect swim during your Ironman? Do you have that in mind? That's the first step that you have to do. If you're going to be drafting, how the course is set up, where you're going to start, all those details. Next, it's your training. If the swim is a wetsuit swim, you definitely want to train for that. So either you swim with the wetsuit a few times a week, maybe even once at least, or if that's not possible for whatever the reason, use the swim paddles and then the pool buoy to compensate for it. So we've discussed about the benefits of those training tools before, how they can simulate the wetsuit, so make sure you add them during your training. At the same time, if the swim is not a wetsuit swim, Add a lot of ankle band work to your training, because that's gonna simulate a little bit like a non-wetsuit swim. So you're out of the swim, head into transition. We can talk about both transitions right now. So once again, try to maybe improve your transition by 10-20 seconds. It only adds up towards the end of the day. So first step, get your transition and break it down step by step. Can you eliminate anything? Can you speed up any of that process? You know, think out of the box. Try to find solutions to your own equipment, to your own process during transition. Watch the pros, see how they do it. They typically fly through transition. It's because at that level, strategy is really important. So you want to be out on the bike course as fast as you can go. Some of the accessories, maybe the sunglasses or the nutrition, try to minimize stuff that you put on during transition. If anything, just put on the fly once you're on the bike. So a lot of people, they put on a bunch of gels in the back pockets, maybe get all put in a plastic bag or something, and then once you're on the bike rolling, you can finish your transition in that way. Same with like arm warmers or any little accessory that you don't really need to stay put while in transition and spend your time there. One small detail but can add up quite a lot during the race is if you're stopping to put on socks or not. I suggest save the socks only for the run. Like, you don't really need it for the bike. It's very unlikely you're gonna get any blisters, of course, that you wanna train with it before. But why is that? The first transition has a way more importance in terms of strategy on who you're gonna be riding with. We talked about this on all the articles and videos. On the bike, you want to be able to ride with stronger athletes. You still want to ride legally, so you respect the drafting distance, but if you have one or a bunch of athletes ahead of you setting the pace, that's going to make your bike split a lot quicker, because all you have to do is to focus on that group and stay with them. Mentally, it's a lot easier, and also physically, it's let's put it away. It's not as the same, there is not as thick as riding solo into the wind. So it's legal, why not take advantage out of it? So what we have to do is to get out of transition one as fast as you can. We are on the bike now, and similar to the swim, you want to visualize before the race what the ideal day on the saddle would be. So you want to have a fast swim, a fast transition as we discussed, and then once on the bike, the first 15-20 minutes, take it very, very easy, and then try to pick your pace up every 60 Ks or so, and finish really strong. Another advice that's a little bit risky, but if you have done a lot of Ironmans and just finishing another race is not interesting for you, if you're looking exclusively for like a PB or the Kona slot, then you can start to really risk. So one, you can just ride harder than you have done before. See what happens, explore. It's a high risk, high return type of strategy. Another, with equipment, maybe take the least amount of stuff that you can on the bike. Try to be as lighter and minimalist as possible. More aero, lighter is going to result in a faster bike split. Minimum nutrition in terms of volume, but you still want to take a lot of calories. You can't get away around it. And finally, if budget allows, invest in equipment. Bike fit would be the priority there, since the cyclist is 70% of the wind drag, and then just go from there. Maybe like a bigger chain ring, faster wheel, fastest tires. Then the budget is your limit there. Once you're on the run, on race day, there is not so much you can do about it. Unlike the bike and the swim a little bit, you can't just go for it, because you know that you're gonna blow up, you're gonna bonk down the road. So you just can't risk enough on the Ironman run. So it's better to do this on the swim and then on the bike, and then just hang on for it on the run and do what you can. You can still fine-tune some details in training. Step number one is gonna have a massive impact on your run split. It's body composition. So try to get as light and as lean, as long as you stay healthy, as you can. Number two, try experimenting with some of the training tools. We recommend a lot of the work on the treadmill. So if you don't have like a gym membership, maybe try to run on the treadmill once a week. You can control a lot of the setups. We have some of the gradient sets. You can simulate hills, especially if you're gonna do a race in a hilly course, and all you have, it's like flat roads around you. So just experiment a little bit. Once again, trying to find small improvements here and there during the race and also during your training. So now that you have really nailed all the details in training and what you want to do on race day as well, once the gun goes, forget about the corner slot. Don't think about it during the race, because your focus has to be on how putting on that race plan together. Ignore other athletes. Don't worry about what position you have right now, where people are, what they're doing on the bike. Just focus on your own strategy. Because one thing is to risk a little bit on an Ironman. That's what you want to do. You want to explore a little bit, but if you risk too much, if you explore too much, then you're going to get in trouble. It's a guaranteed blow up there, and then you may not even finish the race, which is a risk that you want to be willing to take, but a calculated risk, let's put it that way. I hope you enjoyed this video, and it's gonna help you to get a little bit closer to your corner slot. Subscribe to Iron Guides on YouTube, and if you need any more information, just visit the link on the description of this video to our website. Enjoy your training.